Are you a born hunter gatherer? Are you ready? Are you good at that thing that we're innately designed to do? Oh man. Got to tell you, this is where the rubber hits the road. When you think about what you have going on in life, this is where the rubber's going to hit the road because when you really think about it, when you think about what we do every day, we do exactly the same thing as everything else in the entire friggin' universe or in the planet, on the planet, right? Exactly the same thing. We get up every day and we run out into the world and we hunt and we gather those things we need the most for us to survive, right? Think about that. And of course, if you go from that perspective, which I believe is clearly true, then the question about where you are right now is about your ability to hunt and gather. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about why it's so easy for us to hunt and gather all day long for years after years and never manage to gather up any of the things we truly need. There we go. Let's dig into it. So let's talk about your life. And of course, I don't want to be a bully. I don't want to be the guy out there telling you, "Hey, look at this is what you got to do." Although sometimes I feel like it, right? Think about it. Think about it. Of all of the things in the world that you could have went out and gathered into your life, why do we as a society choose the things we do? And of course, the answer to that is what? The answer to that is that we choose based on what we've learned to do. Think about it. You're not running no original idea. I don't care what anyone says. Just like I'm not. Well, I am in a way, right? I am. I'm an oddity among most of the people that I know. Here I am 62 and I do all kinds of stuff that other people don't do. And of course, you get scrutinized for that. I'm going to tell you that right now. That is one of the downsides, and that's one of the reasons that we don't spend a lot of time, or we struggle when we start venturing beyond the box, right? Because when you start venturing beyond the box, all of a sudden, you're exposed. Like, where's he going? Everybody's all grouped in their little cities, and their lives look like they do. And then you go ahead and stick your head out, and they're like, "Oh, whoa, wait a minute, what's up? What's up with him?" Right? That is your ability to hunt and gather. If you want to be a better hunter gatherer than everyone around you, which I might be as a good ad is a good idea, you might want to stick around. We're going to talk a lot more about that one when we come back. All right, now it wouldn't be fair of me for me just to start breaking things apart on you. But let's talk about your hunter gatherer skills. Now, first of all, let me explain something to you. You probably don't even know this, but a lot of your hunter gatherer skills and the ideas and the things that you use to gather all of those things in your life, that's a lot about training. That's a lot about what everyone around you has been taught to do. Is it a bad thing? Is it a good thing? Well, not necessarily either or. It kind of depends, and that's where being a good hunter gatherer really comes into play. See, in layman's terms, in the simplest conversation, being a hunter gatherer is simply nothing more than being good at gathering the stuff you love the most, the stuff that inspires you the most. It's not some ideological game that you have to go to school for years and years to do. And so, in order for us to protect ourselves or to prepare ourselves to be better at the things we do, what's one of the first things we have to do? We got to spend time. Well, listen, now this is important. You got to spend time thinking about what you love to do and how to get there. I'll ask the question, and you probably won't have an answer for me. How many times in the last week did any of us, did you or your friends or your mom or your dad actually work towards something you have never done? Right? Work towards something that in your life and all of the things you've done, that's been something you're like, never done that. Huh. I never. Hey, what do you think? Maybe we should want to try doing it. We could. Oh. Well, look what we did. Pretty exciting when you live your life from that perspective. Why? And why don't we? Well, I talked about the training we've all received. Why do you own a house, a car, you have the kids, the wife? Your life looks exactly like your neighbors, like your friends, like your moms, your dads, your uncles, your aunts. Need a minute? Yeah, most people do. Well, it's because, you got to have a house, you got to have a place to live, you got to have a car, you got to have a job. Sure, maybe. I know people who live on boats who don't have a car or a house. I know people who live in RVs who don't have a car, a house, and all the stuff that comes with it, right? Now, where we get off track is when we get an idea in our head that the things we're gathering up are necessary and important to us. We're like, hey, look what I did. Well, I went out and got me a house. Oh, really? Wow, look at you, man. What a hunter-gatherer you are, dude. Go, boy. And, of course, the bankers, they're hunter-gatherers as well. See, them bankers, but they're hunting different things and they're gathering different things than me and you are. So we're out there gathering things and we're gathering debt. The bankers are sitting back going, well, I'm going to gather up some money over here. You're going to give me some money too because I already got some money. Then I'll loan you some money and then you give me some money. I don't want to throw you off a cliff, make you want to jump off a cliff or anything. And I'm definitely no expert at anything, but I can tell you this. I'm a pretty good hunter-gatherer, and the reason I'm better than good. I'm damn good, right? But I'm a pretty good hunter-gatherer, and the reason that I can say that is because I look around and I can see how to make it better. This is kind of part of it. This is my way to stay on track. And of course, the other thing that we have to work on is how to figure out how to find the things we should be gathering, and of course, how to get excited about it enough to be able to actually get it done. The good news is, when you put those two things together, guess what happens? You become unstoppable. You can pick wherever you want to be, and the next thing you know, guess what? Bam, you're there. Stick around. Let's talk about how to activate this machine. All right, so this thing is just like a car or a truck or any other action that you would take, right? First thing you have to do is ask yourself, what am I chasing right now? Because there's always something on the horizon that you could be chasing or should be chasing, right? There's something you don't know how to do. There's something you have never done. And of course, what's stopping us from making that decision to do that? What do you suppose it is? I don't know. I think I got one. I got one right here. You see this bad boy? You see this right here? Yeah. And of course, I got people say, well, that you don't be talking smack about social media, about the phone and AI, because that shit's cool, right? I get that. I do. I get it. And of course, I love my phone. I tell you, I love my phone. I love technology. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing this. It's hard. This is hard work. I don't care if you've ever done it. This is hard work, especially to produce consistently, right? But that's where it starts. What thing could you add to your life right now, today? What thing could you go out and gather into your life that would make your life instantly better? Right? What thing could you add to your life that would instantly make it better? You're thinking, of all the things in life I could choose to do, I'll pull some of this in here. I'm going to pull a lot of that in here. Right? I'm going to grab some stuff. Oh, yeah, give me some of that over there too, right? And some stuff don't even cost you. What happened if you pulled a buttload of kindness, a whole handful of goodness into your life? This crazy idea, got a crazy idea in your head that it was time for you to start being nicer to people. What do you think would happen? I mean, I know. This is crazy, right? It's craziness. The question is, what do you think would happen if you actually did that? Right? And of course, the reason that you don't. Well, let's start back up. Let me back up here. What would that look like? If you were going to grab a hold of something that would increase your life, maybe happiness or joy, what would be something you could do? You could become a funner person. That's where I like to start. I always like to start with me. If you notice that, I'm a little reserved around people because I come off and I'm so excited, right? My kids, sometimes they get mad at me, right? Can you imagine? Because I get on the phone and I'm just bubbling. I'm just like, yeah, I did my podcast and I'm doing my walk and I'm going to the gym. I'm working out and I don't have to work. And I got this great apartment. I got this great wife and I have this great life. Looking for a reason why you should start. I don't know, man. I mean, you're going to do something from now till the day you die, no matter what it is. I guess the question you probably want to ask yourself is, could I do something that's actually a little better? And of course, there's a shelf life to everything we do. And that's why a good hunter-gatherer never sits still. A good hunter-gatherer doesn't just make the kill and then sit around, lay around sleeping. A good hunter-gatherer goes out and he gets more. You want to know how? Let's stick around, see what we can do about that. Want to get more? Get more money? Want to get more time? Want to get more love? Want to get more kindness? Want to get more inspiration? Want to get more laughter? You want to get more appreciation? Ooh, how would that go? How would that go for you? Think about it. What could you do right now, this very moment, that would actually entice you to like go, oh, all right, I'm going to start doing that. I'm start thinking that. And that's exactly it. Think about it. Find a reason to think about something that's better than where you are. And then base it on something that would really like kind of kick your ass, help you, right? Think about it. It doesn't make any sense to do anything else. So what would it look like? What do you suppose that would look like? I don't know. You got economic problems. You don't have enough money. Well, bite the bullet, man. You'll never live. A life of crime is not a life of crime. You're eventually going to be broke. You're eventually going to be broke and in prison, right? So take all that energy, all that planning, all that conniving, all that time out late at night, and put it together doing something that actually makes you money and you don't have to go to jail for it. Of course, and in this day and age, that would be a terrible, terrible thing to say. I can't believe it. I can't believe he said that, right? What we're facing, if you're struggling or if you're living on top of your mountain, you've got everything you want, regardless of what spectrum on that you are, you're there not because the world around you, because we all face the same world. Yes, we start in different points, and some people you just have to accept it. Because we are raindrops. When we arrive in this world, we are raindrops. And what do raindrops do? They fall, and that's where they are, and that's it. My raindrop fell in Colorado Springs in 1961, right? That's where I started. My dad was an uneducated Hispanic guy, American, but he lived in Saguache, and he worked his ass off. He knew how to work hard, and he owned it, right? He was a Depression-era baby, scared to hell. He'd see a bolt, he'd pick it up. Couldn't take him any place, man. He'd just be picking up bolts and sticks and nails, and he had pockets full of stuff because it could go that way again. My dad was a true hunter-gatherer. I give him that, right? And it gave him a good life because of it. Right? It gave him a great life because of it. See, to be a good hunter-gatherer, you got to keep an eye on your prize. To be a good hunter-gatherer, you got to keep your eyes trained on that better part of you. That thing that you know is going to make you better, how it feels better. And why aren't you looking at it? Well, there's a lot of reasons, but in general, it comes down to just one thing. It comes down to one thing. If you change that one thing, you'll become an amazing hunter-gatherer. You'll become unstoppable. Your friends, your family, everyone around you will look at you and go, damn, look what he's doing. What are you doing? I just improved my hunter-gatherer. I'm a better hunter-gatherer now. I know how to pick my prey, and I know how to go after it and stay focused on it and want it. And the cool part is it doesn't even matter what it is. And why are we not where we should be? Well, a lot of reasons. Let's talk about picking it, grabbing a hold of it, and then getting it. All right. I already know what I'm going to catch on this one, all right? I already know. I've been talking about this damn mirror thing. I keep talking about the dry erase marker and the mirror, and write your goal on the mirror, and then put a number by it after each day to see how you did. So the next morning you can wake up and you can do better at it. Because that's crazy. That'll never work. But what's funny about it is, did you try it? I mean, come on. Be honest, did you try it? Did you actually consistently do that for like a week? I put it out there because I know it works, because it's based on a simple idea. Simple idea is one of the primary ideas of being a dynamic and an effective hunter-gatherer is understanding the connection between where you're going and thinking about it. You can't go where you're not thinking. You're not going to go where you're not thinking, and that's just the gist of it. I don't know how else to say it, right? That mirror thing, that go to the store, get a pack of dry erase markers, put one in with your toothbrush. Write that thing you need the most right now, that thing that would give you the most benefit. And why is that important? Well, think about it. If you're going to do something and you get involved in something and it happens to be some big stuff, it changes a lot about your life. What's the likelihood that you're going to decide, well, I think I'll continue to do that? What do you think the likelihood of that would be? And that's it. Now that's where these come in, right? You see this bad boy? One more time. See that? Yeah. Where those come in is those were handed to us, and they didn't really come with any instructions, right? They didn't give these instructions on how to actually manage them. They told them what they would do, but they never told us, you got to be careful about this. You got to be careful about this. And of course, like everything else in life, that results in our need to take a look at it and go, sniff around it like a good hunter-gatherer, kind of ask some questions, look around at other people, trying to figure out what's happened to them. That's a real good place to start as a hunter-gatherer. Now, hypothetically, let's just say that you've chosen the same path as your mom and dad. And what I mean by that, of course, I don't mean no offense to anyone. This is just an observation. Of course, if you're ready for it, if you're ready to hear what I have to say, you're going to see the characteristic or the characterization that I'm going to demonstrate for you. So stick around here. Listen to this. If you do exactly the same thing as the people around you, give or take, it's $50,000, give or take, either way, on any level. Debt, give or take kids, What do you think the likelihood is that you will end up where they are? I mean, take a 70-year-old man. Here you are, 50. And you take a 70-year-old man and you go, hey, and you look at what he did and you look at what you're doing now and you think, well, he did exactly the same thing I did. He lived most of his life in debt, and he didn't go see a lot because there wasn't a lot of money. But he did get this house, which was supposed to be a great investment. And yeah, granted, it was paid for, and he had a place to live, but I mean, barely. Right? The taxes still eating you up, right? So if you follow those same steps, how do you think it's going to end? And of course, this is where we have the problem with people saying, well, I'm happy. Good hunter-gatherers are never friggin' happy. Tell you right now, when it comes to the shit I do, I am like I'm a lion when it comes to the stuff I do and how much I value it. It doesn't matter. I mean, I own it, and of course you see the result, right? You see this guy shows up, and granted, interesting or not, I'm here, right? Which is cool as hell, and it's cool as hell for me, right? And of course the opportunity exists for you as well. But think about it. When you look at where you are and where you're going, the only thing that you have is you to get there. And the cool part is you get to be anything you want to be. You can be anything you want to be. You can do anything you want to do. And the incentive, the issue to face there is finding the motivation and the energy to do that. And of course, how is that done? Well, you remember what you used to do, right? You remember what you used to love to do, right? Well, do it. Pick it out. Just pick something. And even if you can't do anything else, write it on that mirror with that silly ass thing I keep talking about. And then every day when you pick up that phone, that machine that will give you the world, right? Pick up that phone that will give you the world, you type in how to get to that point. I mean, it could be be a nurse. Could be a better father, be more engaged, be a teacher, be a learner. It could be adding more money, being more responsible because you feel a you're compelled to do it because of the gift of life itself, right? You're just there. You're looking at, I'm alive. Thank you. And get all inspired to do something good with it. But you got to be able to see it. You got to be able to sit down and close your eyes and think about your life. Think about where you are, what you would want to do, what your life should look like, would look like, could look like. And that's it. Not rocket science. The world, or the universe, I don't care whether you're a Christian or you're whatever your religious faith is. If you believe in the power of the universe, you're right where you're supposed to be. The universe will hear you. The universe is here to make us better hunter-gatherers. Right? And what is our role in it? Well, I don't know. It's the same role as anyone who has the privilege to wake up today. I had the privilege to see the sun one more time because I guarantee there's someone who didn't. We went to church today and the conversation was among the parishioners because the preacher wasn't there. And the conversation was about the burdens we carry. And the lesson was heavy, and it talked about the burden we each carry. And when you look at someone and you judge them, and you think, oh, look at that, or oh, it might be a good idea for you to try and step away from that. You don't know their story. You don't know where they've been. I have burdens. My life is not, just because I show up here every day and I talk about how good life is, because I draw a lot of energy in life, because I'm good as a hunter-gatherer, but not everything about life is good. And when life turns bad on us, that's when we really got to be good hunter-gatherers. Let's talk about that when we come back. So let's get right into this thing. So if there's anyone who understands and knows about the struggles of life, it's me and my wife. We've been through hell. Married her when she was 16. I was barely 18. We had a baby born. She was 17. I was a dad. She was 17. I was 19. I was a dad. Living in our own place. Had a job, working our butts off. That's the only thing we knew, right? So I know about the struggles, and I know about the choices that we make, and the things that life hands us, right? The truth is, the only thing you can do about it is to correct it. Because sometimes life just hands you stuff, and you have to deal with it. But that doesn't mean that you have to add to that burden. And of course, the other issue is, as a hunter-gatherer, we have to identify who's responsible. On any level, I don't care who you are. If you're an adult and you've been making decisions for yourself, you are in essence a hunter-gatherer. You are on this earth and you are in a role where you're actually taking care of your business. No one else is taking care of your business. No one else is making your decisions for you, right? And if that's the case, then who do you suppose is responsible for why you're sitting in a muck, why you're sitting in a swamp? You don't have enough money. You don't have a reliable income. You don't have whatever your situation is. You and your wife are at odds, can't seem to get together. You and your husband can't seem together. He's drinking too much. You're drinking too much, or both of you may be drinking too much. What do you do? What do you do when that happens? Well, there's only two things you can do. Either you fight it and you overcome it and you become the warrior that you need to be, or it consumes you. And of course, some people, I'm happy with my life. I love drinking, getting all jacked up every day by 10 o'clock in the morning. Oh, hell yeah. Love it, the old shit, best thing. Yeah. Really? And of course, it all comes back to one thing, and that is, if you're not looking at where you need to go because of where you are, you're not going to get there. Or actually, regardless of the reason. If you don't wake up every day with something on your agenda that's going to elevate your life, I guarantee in 10 years, you're going to be sitting exactly the same place, and actually probably worse off. I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but old age sucks. I'm 63 years old and I go to the gym, or I'll be 63. I go to the gym 4 days a week. We do bike rides and we're busy and active and we watch what we eat. And I probably drink a little too much, probably, but still, I'm on my game, right? And life is gonna still continues to pound at my door. Age continues to pound at my door. It doesn't help when we add drama that doesn't energize us, because what gets you up off the floor? What gets you out of bed in the morning? Think about it. I'll give you a minute. Just think about it. If you can close your eyes, just close your eyes and think about, well, let's see, what could I do? What will I do today that would make my life better? And because you don't believe it, guess what? You don't see it. The world's full of choices. Simple choices, little choices. Be nice. Can you imagine someone, all right, if we want to change the world, I'll tell you what, here's what we're going to do. We're going to change the world. You ready for it? Let's go ahead and change the world. Everybody, here's the mantra. We'll say it to ourselves. We'll say it to our friends. We'll say it to strangers. Be nice. Be nice. Be kind. Have kind hot thoughts. Be nice. No way. What? Oh, the audience. Is it possible? Huh? Good hunter-gatherers, one of the best things about being a hunter-gatherer is when you have a pack of hunter-gatherers. That's when it gets good. Let's talk about that when we come back. And I'll tell you what, I remember, I don't have a lot of, don't have a lot of great memories when it comes to being my childhood. But I got to tell you, I do remember times when I'd be in a neighborhood, because I moved a lot, but I'd be in a neighborhood, and it was early on, but you'd be around a bunch of kids and you got that pack mentality, like you're just kids running around, you're jumping off of sheds and you're digging foxholes, doing all kinds of crazy stuff that kids today probably don't do, right? In fact, I don't recall ever seeing anyone get scolded for jumping off a shed. I think my grandson Oscar is definitely going to be there, and so is Joe. But yeah, just don't see it. But we run around. There's nothing better than having backup, right? And of course, what are we doing? Well, we're kind of dropping the ball, because the reality is, part of being a great hunter-gatherer is being able to combine your effort with those around you. I don't care what you think. You do realize that if the storm comes your way, Donald Trump or Biden or any of their crew aren't going to come running to save you when your house blows down. It's going to be the guy right across the street that you didn't talk to. You made all these, sat in your window, looked out at them, and come up with all kinds of stories about who they are and what they're doing. And, oh, I seen that, right? And then you never bothered to shake his hand. But what's going to happen when his house blows down or your house blows down? One of you going to go run into the other. One of you going to go, hey, Jay, hey. Wasn't that a sad thing? A man lives across the street from you, his house blows down, and you don't even know whose name to call. What? I think we can do better. I really do. We need to be better hunter-gatherers. If you're not, follow my advice. Get that dry erase marker. Get that mirror. Get that thing going. Until next time, I got to tell you, I'm loving it. I'm not going to stop. I hope you keep listening. Don't forget to check me out on YouTube, on most of the podcast channels. Also, I have a live show. Join me for morning coffee, Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 8:30 on Podbean. You have to subscribe. You'll get the notifications. I'm doing the best I can, and it's pretty damn good. I hope you are too. Until next time, my name is Chris Jaquez, and this is your Best Life Defined. Have a wonderful day.